Welcome to Cloudify Podcast, brought to you by Cloud Advisory. On this podcast, we talk about ways to grow, innovate, and automate your business using the Salesforce Customer Experience Platform. Without further ado, here is the next episode of Cloudify.
Welcome to the Cloudify podcast. This is episode 3, where we answer questions about how to grow, innovate, and automate your business using the Salesforce Customer Experience Platform. I'm your host, Michael, and today we'll be discussing Desk.com. What is Desk.com and how it can benefit your business? So Desk.com is basically software as a service on the Salesforce platform. Just like the Service Cloud, it's aimed at providing support to the customer service rep. So any representatives that you have that are on duty to accept incoming customer calls, whether they're just customer support reps or even technical support reps, this is the software that you would purchase for them to manage their day-to-day interactions with those customers. Now, this gets a little bit confusing because we already talked about the Service Cloud, but Salesforce essentially has 2 products in this space. And there's a little bit of a difference between the two. So in this episode, we'll talk about Desk.com kind of in a little bit of a vacuum, but then we'll discuss how you would choose between Service Cloud and Desk.com. Very much like Service Cloud, with Desk.com, it allows the user, which is typically, again, a technical or a customer service rep, to log cases and to keep track of support calls. It also allows you to transfer and record knowledge and best practices and push those through that organization, so whether it's customer service or technical support. Desk.com is a product that was originally known as Assistly, and that company was acquired by Salesforce for $50 million in cash and some deferments back in 2011 that added up to about $80 million. So there's the link to the article on TechCrunch. You can see the details of that acquisition a number of years ago. This product within the Salesforce portfolio is essentially the entry-level product, if you will, but by no means is it lacking in features, but it's essentially what Salesforce positions as their small business support desk software. The price of the service ranges anywhere from $25 to $140 a month, and we'll talk about really there's 3 versions of Desk.com with various features that a company can buy. But essentially, it's to help customer service agents, mainly around inbound support calls. And the Service Cloud is really the product that Salesforce targets more at the medium to large enterprise market. And Desk.com is more of the entry-level product. But it gets really interesting when you go through and you look at the features, because there's very similar features. And when you are deciding between the two, it can get a little tricky. So we'll kind of avoid that discussion on this particular episode. So just a little bit of brief history again. Assistly became Desk.com, as we mentioned. It was rebranded by Salesforce as Desk.com. It was originally integrated as part of the Salesforce platform, but it's not built specifically on Force.com. So there are some nuances, let's say. Anyways, it is very good software. It helps companies collect and organize all of their customer conversations into a prioritized actionable list. So there's a really interesting customer interface that customers seem to really like. So anyone that's bought Desk.com, one of the main features is that interface, and they really typically like that. Essentially, it allows you to equip your support staff with the tools to respond to customers. So that would be answers to conversations, access to case histories, and account histories. It also allows you to access basically any of the conversations that customer specifically would be having on Facebook, Twitter, or other social media sites. So that's an interesting channel really for Support Desk. Really, this was positioned as a social customer service platform. So in other words, if I'm talking badly about your company on Twitter, I would be able to connect as a support person that conversation to the account data. So when you call in or you contact me, or maybe that's the method of contact is through social means, I know this customer is the one that was saying XYZ on the internet. Interesting, right? Really important today, though, because Facebook, Twitter, all these other sites are really important support channels now. It's not just the telephone, it's not just email, it's not just the web. So Desk.com also provides users and managers with key metrics analytics. So they can get an idea of case volume, interaction volume by channel, response time, service levels, and agent performance, plus a lot more. So there's a lot of really good out-of-the-box functionality of Desk.com. It doesn't take a ton of customization to get your business up and running, which is one of the big features of Desk.com, that you can buy a subscription to it for your users, and you can have them up and running in a relatively almost instantaneous time frame, probably within the first day. So there's a lot of pre-built capabilities into it, which might be a little bit of a contrast to Service Cloud, where it probably takes a little bit more analysis and then customization of the platform. So there's 3 versions of Desk.com, and I'll just kind of touch on what the functionality of each of these versions are, and it's cumulative. So in the standard version, this is typically $25 to $35 a month, and the difference between those two prices is really whether you prepay the entire year or you just go month to month. So in other words, if I prepay the entire year, it's $300 a year per user. If I don't prepay and I pay monthly, it's $35 a month per user. Now, this is essentially a standalone version of Desk.com. So in other words, it's not actually integrated with Salesforce. So you can't connect a customer in Desk.com in the standard version with an account in Salesforce. There's really no bridge between the two. So that's kind of interesting, and that really can impact, number one, if this is the right product for you to buy. But you can see if I'm a customer that just wants a support desk software, where I could just go out and buy Desk.com, and I'm not really bought into the Salesforce ecosystem, and I'm not worried about passing information between departments. Maybe it's really a small group. Major feature of this is multi-channel support. So in other words, as we mentioned, you can have support inquiries that come through social media. They can come through an email to case. They can be from your website. It might be a telephone call. Whatever where the case was initiated, Desk.com will basically support it. It also has the ability to provide self-service support. So a really big feature of most of these support platforms is the ability to push out information to customers so they can discover that information themselves and maybe get answers to their questions without calling into or emailing an employee on your side. So that's really important. Agent productivity tools. So really what this means in Desk.com is that you can create macros and pre-canned responses to common questions. So then it helps the agent when they get a particular question, they can have a response at the ready of how they would resolve the case or possibly answer the customer's question. So again, this relates not just to a knowledge base, which is a couple of bullet points down, but it also just to the responses that you would have to a customer. So they don't have to, you have, number one, consistency of what your customer service or your tech support reps would be responding to common questions, but also so they don't have to search for the answer to some of these common questions. So training aside, it kind of prompts them and gives them a tool right in front of them. Support performance reporting. So what does that mean? So that means how your customer support channel or your reps in particular are performing. How are they responding and resolving cases of people that call in? And that there's pre-built reporting around this. The knowledge base we mentioned, so this is really the ability to create resolutions and answers to common questions, and then have that available across all of your support reps. Also, to push that out to customers through a self-service channel. Workflow and automation, so this is really an important feature of pretty much any software, I think, today, where you can automate manual processes. So rather than hoping that the training that you've provided to reps provides consistency, you can automate through triggers and actions, tasks or assignments or escalations using workflow and automation tools. Now, this is different from the normal workflow and automation tools of Salesforce. So you're not able to leverage the workflow automation features of Salesforce inside of Desk.com. This is specific to Desk.com. So now you've got basically a different administration and setup within this application than you would for the rest of your Salesforce platform. So again, I think it really depends upon, hey, am I really bought into the Salesforce ecosystem? Do I want to be up and running fast enough? And do I have to train my admin on how to create workflow rules outside of the normal Salesforce admin channel? Desk.com support. So one thing that Desk.com does very well that might be probably beneficial to you for purchasing Desk.com is a support channel. They have their own, what they call WOW support channel. And that's different from Salesforce, where they have probably 24-hour turnaround on most cases that you would log with Salesforce unless you purchase a support contract. So again, probably one of the major benefits of being a Desk.com customer versus Service Cloud is I think that there's probably an enhanced level of service as a Desk.com user because you have that separate support channel. So that's really a rundown on the major features of the standard version of Desk.com. The Pro version, this is where you get into connection between your customers in Desk.com and your customers or accounts in Salesforce. So now there's visibility between the Sales Cloud and Desk.com. So unless you subscribe to the Pro version or higher, you won't have that capability. It also has a little bit more advanced reporting and analytics, so now you can make predictive choices. So you get really some more reporting capabilities inside of this version of Desk.com. Another feature of the Pro version is multi-brand self-service support. So really what this means is you can provide a website or a portal for more than one brand inside of your company. So let's say you have two separate brands. You can brand different self-service support websites so that as a customer I can go to that website, xyz.com or abc.com, and I can have different levels of support on each of them. OpenCTI, so this is really the integration of Desk.com into your telephone service. And because it's OpenCTI, that gives you a lot of different telephony integration options. They have a native CSAT score, so really that's customer satisfaction scoring. So it allows you to tell how happy the customers that are inquiring or logging cases with your company post-sales, how happy they are with the resolution of those cases. So that's built into Desk.com. Multilingual support, so that's important. And then custom page layout. So this relates really to the user layout. So in other words, if I log in as a user to Desk.com, I can customize what I see on the screen. And that dashboard is very popular with customers of Desk.com. It's really seen as one of the major features of Desk.com. And this version, the Pro version, is really between $60 to $70 a month. Again, if I prepay the entire year, it's $720 per user. So it averages out to $60 a month. If I go month to month, it's $70 a month per user. Third version of Desk.com, this is really where the line starts getting blurred because now you're getting into the pricing territory of Service Cloud. So if you're thinking that you need the features in this silo, that's where you really have to start thinking, do I want to move to Service Cloud? Because Service Cloud typically starts at $135 a month per user. So this is a $125 to $140 a month a user. So this is really what they're trying to position it as head-to-head with the Service Cloud. So you can kind of see the path that you would take as a Salesforce customer of deciding between Desk.com and the Service Cloud application. Some of it's based upon pricing. Really, what's the enhanced business version? It gives you custom interactive dashboards. So now you have visualizations of reports that are pinned. Now keep in mind, this dashboard is different than the standard Salesforce dashboard. So it is specific to Desk.com. So it would be, you would build reports inside of Desk.com or use one of the pre-developed reports on, how the customer support organization is performing, and then you would use pre-built or build pre-built pre-pinned reports to the dashboard. But again, this is different than the dashboards and reporting in Salesforce. So you have a separate dashboard and reporting tool. Advanced integrations and workflow. So there are pre-built integrations with partners, and there's also more advanced workflow rules. You can have custom agent roles and permissions. So this is really interesting. You have to spend 125 to 140 bucks a month per user to have custom agent roles and permissions. And again, this is different than the roles and permissions in Salesforce. So now you've got a separate administration of users if you subscribe to Desk.com versus Service Cloud. Customer health monitor. So this really, by customer, this is a way to measure how happy and successful your post-sales support of a customer is. So it's pretty useful. This is not available in the previous versions of Desk.com. Single sign-on for agents and administrators. So that's interesting. So you have a separate sign-on for desktop or Desk.com versus Salesforce. So that's kind of strange, and you don't get that single sign-on until you have the Business Plus version, which, funny enough, is in the same pricing range as Service Cloud. Unlimited multi-brand support. So if you have multiple brands inside of your call center, maybe you're in the call center business and you're looking to buy software to manage those different contracts across different customers who have different brands. So this is where I think that would come into play. Now you can support different customers as that type of outsourced customer support organization or call center. Or again, internally, if you have different brands, you can support those in this version of Desk.com with the different brands. And then unlimited page layout. So again, this relates to how the individual user lays out their pages within Desk.com, or the admin lays them out based upon role. So that's really the difference between those three versions of Desk.com. So what does Desk.com look like? So the first major feature of Desk.com, and this is what we were talking about as far as the user interface, that people that subscribe to Desk.com for their business, they really like the user interface. And what you'll see here is a very non-traditional Salesforce user interface. So you log into Desk.com, and what you see is the agent details. So I'm the user here, in this case, Matt. And I'll see on the left all my new cases, any cases that I'm dealing with that may be open, or VIP cases. So these might be escalated or premium cases where the customer's paid for premium support. And then all cases on the bottom. So that's any cases that are open or closed. And then I see a tab for recently resolved cases. So again, you'll notice this looks nothing like Salesforce, and it looks nothing like the Service Cloud. So you're using a very non-traditional Salesforce interface. It is definitely unique to Desk.com. But one of the big things that people that subscribe to Desk.com like is this common inbox. So you'll see in the middle here, I have all of my incoming or active communications between this person, the user, myself, and customers. And you'll see on the left column here is an icon for the channel that the inquiry is, or the conversation is occurring on. So you'll see one is chat, another one is email, another one's Facebook, another one's Twitter. And then you'll see further down a little green icon where there's a telephone that's obviously phone-based support. The customer, so you'll need to see the name of the customer, the subject, so you can click on that to see more details on it, the active, threads of communication, and then the status, whether it's open, new, or pending, or closed. You'll see the last time that it was updated and how it was assigned and what the priority of the case is. So this is very unique. And then I've got kind of these little action things where I can pop out the individual case, I can look at more detail, or I can indicate that it's resolved, all from this view. I can also initiate a new case in the top right-hand corner where it says new. So very different again, but this is a very popular feature of Desk.com, is this unique user interface that's tailored for a support rep. Take a look at a case individual detail. You can see in the foreground, I have the case number, subject, status, priority. Again, this looks nothing like Salesforce. It's a very unique interface. But then I can click this tab here to see details on my customer, and then details on the company itself. And on the right, I see the conversation. So I see all the emails back and forth between myself and the customer since it's been initiated. I can look at the customer history and the company history. In the top right-hand corner, you can see I've kind of zoomed in on this. You also have this little metric of how long the case has been in the system. You can also see the average wait time, or the wait time for this case to be initiated, and how long it's taken it for it to be handled. So it's kind of interesting. Very different user interface, but again, this is one of the most popular features of the Salesforce Desk.com application. Compare this to a more traditional Salesforce interface. So this is, if you don't recognize it, this is what the standard Salesforce UI looks like. And in this case, this is the Service Cloud interface, but again, very different from Desk.com. So there's some benefits to the Desk.com interface for sure. There's also some challenges when you start scaling up and getting into customization, because you're in a totally different application. It's not really on the Salesforce platform, and you're administrating it very different from, say, the Service Cloud, which is part of the Salesforce platform more directly. This is an example of a customer portal. So for example, let's say my brand was Aloha Adventures. This is from the Desk.com website. You'll see that I can access basically information. All this information is being pulled from Desk.com on the back end. So when I create my knowledge base, it's being pushed out in a branded website to the customer. And so this is when they talk about multi-brand support. I could have multiple brands with different support knowledge bases presented to the customer based upon the website that they're going to. So again, that can be really beneficial for an organization that's maybe a call center or providing outsourced customer service, or sometimes a company is big enough that they have multi-brands inside of their company. So what's the integration story of Desk.com? So they have their own integrations outside of the normal App Exchange. So in App Exchange, you'll have integrations to Salesforce. You'll have specific applications built on that platform. Desk.com kind of has their own ecosystem. So they have different categories of integrations. You can see on the far right-hand side all those different app categories. Agent efficiency, again, something specific to the call center or the technical support center. Different analytics products. So these are third-party solutions built into the Desk.com ecosystem, but this is very different from the standard Salesforce ecosystem. You can see that there's integrations to other CRMs. So again, it's a totally different product that Salesforce is selling. It's built with an integrated version on the Pro version and up with Salesforce, but again, it's not built on the Salesforce platform. All right, so it gets back to that question we keep alluding to, which is, what about Service Cloud? Why are there two different products? So the reason that you'll see typically that someone buys Desk.com is because it's quicker to get up and running and fast out of the gate with Desk.com, whereas Service Cloud probably requires a little more thought about your processes and customization to get things up and running. One of the downsides of Desk.com that we see reported is that the knowledge base is limited. So I think in another episode when we talk about how do I decide between Desk.com and Service Cloud, we'll talk specifically about the differences in the knowledge base. Also, we've kind of alluded to how if you're on Desk.com, the data is different than Salesforce Sales Cloud. So in other words, if I'm on Service Cloud, I'm using objects on the Salesforce platform, whereas on Desk.com, I'm providing visibility to my data in Desk.com to the Sales Cloud. So in other words, if I'm a sales rep, I go into the account, I can see through, as long as my company is on Pro or the Business Plus version of Desk.com, yes, I can see that data. Whereas on Service Cloud, it's automatically a part of the Salesforce platform. So I can create visibility using the same admin tools. And it's kind of a subtle nuance, but we'll kind of talk about where that gets impactful in a future episode, I would say. Desk.com is quick out of the gate, but it's more difficult to customize. So it's a much more complicated process. You're not dealing with Apex and Visualforce, and you can't develop on Sandbox, which is interesting. So it's not really truly built, from what I can see, on the same stuff that the rest of the Salesforce platform is. So yes, you get up and running, but it's more difficult once you get in there to customize the experience using standard Salesforce development tools. Reporting does not work in the same reporting tools as Salesforce, so that's another thing to think about. And so what's the right choice? I mean, you can see these are kind of some of the bullet points. What we'll do is we'll do another episode on how to choose the right platform and the right plan. Hopefully this has given you a good overview of Desk.com. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below, and we'd be happy to provide further insight. Otherwise, look for the next episode when we'll talk about how do I choose between Desk.com and Service Cloud. We've kind of touched on some of those points, but we'll get more intricate when it comes down to that.
This has been an episode of Cloudify Podcast. Check out other episodes for interesting topics on how to grow, innovate, and automate your business using the Salesforce Customer Experience Platform.